Investors, good afternoon. Welcome to Canvest Environmental Protection 2020 Interim Results Announcement webcast and conference call. First of all, let me introduce our company's management. They are Chair Lady and Executive Director Ms. Li Wingyi Loretta, CEO and Executive Director Mr. Yuan Guozhen, CFO and Company Secretary Ms. Wing Wang. The presentation materials, PPT, had already been sent to investors' registered email website. And during the webcast, the PPT and the materials will also be shown on the link. Q&A session will be conducted both online and on the phone. ZX Cloud friends, if you would like to contact our management, please click on the left-hand corner of the PPT area and show your name. Thank you. Over to you, Ms. Li. Thank you. Thank you for attending our results announcement. Because of the pandemic, this time we are conducting this results announcement on the webcast as well as conference call. Please give us your understanding if there is any inconvenience. We would like to report to you that we have achieved good results in the first half of 2020. Comparing with the same period of last year, our revenue was up 0.1% at 2.06 billion. Gross profit up 9.7% at 678 million Hong Kong dollars. Net profit up 13% at 452 million Hong Kong dollars. Profit attributable to equity holders of the company up 12.7% at 451 million Hong Kong dollars. Within the period, there were a number of projects which completed operation, giving to the group good operating revenue. And through acquisition and also by acquiring new projects, in 2020, we got 4 new projects. So in Yunnan, Jiangsu, and Shanxi, our project portfolio has expanded. And for the first time, we expanded our WTE business to Liaoning. And then these 4 new projects, had increased our heat treatment volume. At the same time, we have 32 WTE projects. Total daily MSW processing capacity is 18,340 tons, and 14 projects are in operation. Total operating, secured, and announced daily processing capacity is 47,490 tons. And there are also a number of projects in the pipeline. These projects will be completed according to schedule. And in the end of 2018, we acquired Sichuan Jiajie, so the business was extended to upstream services. We are very happy that recently Jiajie had successfully won the MSW transportation projects. As a result, our WTE projects had got synergy. At the beginning of the year, the Ministry of Finance and also NDRC and also State Energy Bureau together issued the documents and guidelines on healthy power generation and so on, and also development of renewable energy, national subsidy, and so on. So the Chinese authority in March already issued the document on environmental protection. So some guiding principles were formulated. And there is going to be a reform on subsidy on electricity tariff. So there will be continuous financial support for the industrial chain. We are so happy to see that the state government had formulated some favorable policies, and the system on electricity tariff subsidy had been refined. So there will be better support for the healthy development of WTE business. For WTE, it is an industry related to people's daily life, especially under the pandemic. In order to ensure clean environment, I think there will be important impact on society. The group, as part of the industry, will continue to adhere to our position. We hope to be able to build a beautiful home for everyone. And we are also developing high quality projects, and we are operating at very high standards. So we will develop clean energy at the same time. We will make contribution to clean environment and our society. Now I will pass the floor to Mr. Yuan, our CEO, to report our operations. Thank you, Chairman. Now let me go through our business development. As of today, we altogether have 32 WTE projects covering 13 provinces and autonomous regions. Daily processing capacity reached 47,490 tons. Out of these 32 projects, 14 are in Guangdong, accounting for 50% of the total contracted volume. So you can see that Guangdong is the main market for environmental protection. Right now, our company is the biggest non-state-owned WTE enterprise. In first half 2020, we successfully acquired Xiangyun project, and we also got the Linkou project. We successfully expanded the Yunnan Province project portfolio, and our coverage has extended to Liaoning Province. And we have also got Jiangsu, Taizhou, and Shanxi Guiyuan WT projects. We further expanded our coverage, our market share in those two provinces. And then in relation to commencement of projects, in 2020 first half, there were successful trial runs of the projects, giving to our group operating revenue. For projects under construction, now there are many projects that are being built and planned. It is expected that in the coming 4 to 5 years, these projects will be completed according to schedule, and they will commence operation smoothly. During the pandemic, there are only a few plants that were deeply affected in February. And in March, actually, the waste volume had resumed normal. For projects under construction, at the end of February to March, there was work resumption already. And the long-term impact on the group was very limited. Looking back towards the first half, our total power generated was 1.27 million megawatt hours, up 13.1% year on year. And for Innocuous generation, up 16.2% on a year-on-year basis. Total sales of electricity 1.11357 million megawatt. And for each ton of waste generated of electricity, more or less the same as last year. And then for operation of various projects, as shown by our operation results, our efficiency and productivity are both very satisfactory. Our generation to sales ratio, 87.5%, utilization rate, 110.2%. The Ministry of Finance and the Ecology together issued a document on renewable energy electricity tariff subsidy guidelines, asking the plants and factories to meet certain requirements in order to enjoy the subsidy. For the new policy, well, it shows that the state government, the central government, wants to make sure that all the waste generation or power generation plants are in line with environmental standards. All shareholders and stakeholders' interests should be well protected, and the group has to make sure that all operating projects must be in line with environmental standards in order to enjoy tax concessions and all the subsidies. Now, I would like to ask our CFO to present our interim results, please. Thank you, Mr. Yuan. Good afternoon. Now let me go through with you our 2020 first half financial performance. As of the first half, our revenue slightly rose 0.1%. Gross profit reached 680 million. Net profit 452 million. Basic earnings 18.6 Hong Kong cents. In order to make sure that we have sustainable development and to pay back to shareholders, we propose to pay interim dividend of 3.7 Hong Kong cents per share. Now, let's take a look at our revenue analysis. Revenue breakdown by service type. Revenue from power sales and revenue from waste treatment fees both rose. In the first half, the pandemic affected all our business in China. However, in terms of waste volume and also power generation volume, they both rose. This is because of an increase in our production capacity. There are 2 projects which started operation in the first half this year. So on average, capacity reached 18,490 tons. This year, there are 9 projects under construction. However, in the first half of the year, the construction progress was affected by the pandemic. So we believe that in the second half of the year, we are able to catch up. In the first half, for our environmental hygiene service, well, there was some income. However, the ratio is still small. Revenue breakdown by region. Southern China region was still the biggest contributor. Guangdong projects are stable. They're able to contribute stable revenue and income to the group. Now let's take a look at our gross profit analysis. Gross profit 678 million. The growth was because of efficiency improvement of our operating projects, and there are also new projects giving contribution. Power sales and waste treatment operations 459 million, accounting for 67.7% of the total and up 63 and up a few percentage points. Construction service from BOT arrangement 160 million or 23.7% of the total. Overall GP margin, because operating profit margin went up, so gross profit margin of the group rose to 33.8%. This is also because of effective cost control. Operating profit margin 48.8%. Construction service GP margin and finance income GP margin are more or less the same as last year. Net profit margin 22.5%. Last year it's 20%, so there is an increase. Even though there are more operating projects, we are still able to control our general and administrative expenses to increase only very minimally. Interest expense up 37.6% at 143 million Hong Kong dollars. This is because of interest from loans. So there is a decrease in capitalization of interest, and so as a result, there was a change in interest expense. There's an increase in relation to interest from subsidiaries. That is because of our investment in non-WTE businesses. Within the period, investment profits also showed a good growth. Income tax expense increased. That's because of an increase in current enterprise income tax, transiting from full tax exemption to half tax exemption. So gearing ratio, last year it's 55.3%, now it's 58.1%. And if we take a look at the net debt to equity ratio is 87%. It is at a healthy level. So all along we have been prudent. We want to make sure that source of funds will be diversified, and then we can optimize our debt portfolio and lower our financing costs. Total borrowings, 6.65 billion. Finance costs and interest coverage ratio, because of finance costs rose, so interest coverage ratio came down to 4.4 times. But in the industry, this is still a relatively high level. Now let me turn to our financial position. Total assets, 14.9 billion Hong Kong dollars. So return on equity, 15.2%. Next, cash flow. In the first half of the year, cash generated from operating projects, 518 million Hong Kong dollars, showing an increase from last year. From BOT projects, capex paid was 1.184 billion Hong Kong dollars. So as a result, there is a net cash outflow from operating activities of 660 million Hong Kong dollars. For the group, in terms of cash, our cash inflow still increased. In terms of national subsidies, well, it is affected by the policy. So payment has been slow, but still you can see our cash flow from operations can still go up. So that's all from me. Thank you.